Hey guys, what's going on? Here what you're looking at is a Mossberg 930 on the top and a Mossberg 500 on the bottom. Okay, what I'm going to be showing you in this video is how to take apart the Mossberg 930, but in doing so there's going to be another little part to this that you're going to see on this firearm first. What we have is we have a new product here we're going to test out. It's called the Presto Bluing Pen. On the bottom Mossberg, around the loading port where you put the, you can even see it right there on the video, it's shining. We're going to take that shine out and cover that back up and see if we can re-blue that area and see how it turns out. In doing so, we're also going to take this gun completely apart, and I'm going to show you the parts that I used to fix that firearm. Plus, I'm going to use the bluing material to, on the part that I polished up and dremeled down, we're going to go ahead and re-blue it so it doesn't rust. Okay, we're going to stop the camera right here, put it on the tripod, and see if maybe we can get this where everybody can see it. I do want to apologize about the lighting. For some reason, when I record on my cell phone, if I have any lights on, the cell phone records it actually darker than what it is. So I do apologize about that, but we're going to go ahead and get this video started. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, the first one we're going to do real quick will be this Mossberg 500. The first thing I'm going to do, say you need to degrease the surface. The best degreaser that I know of, best cleaner that I know of, is rubbing alcohol. It gets the surface completely clean. So we're going to take a little rubbing alcohol. Okay, now we got the surface wiped down with some rubbing alcohol. We're going to wipe it down with a paper towel. Trying to get every bit of oil and grease and grime and everything associated with it right there in that loading port. Okay, the reason I'm doing the loading port is A, because it does get beat up pretty good, and there's other areas on this firearm where it is showing a little bit of wear, but I'm not really worried about those right now. I'm just seeing if this is actually going to work. Okay, we have our solution coming through our pen. Just going to use it. I don't know if you have to get it going first or what. A little spot right there. Just going to dab it. Seems to be coming out of the pen a little better when it's dabbed. And I'm sure it just needs to get started. There it goes. Now it's starting to come out real good. Okay. That's all in this firearm. We're going to turn the camera off here, and then I'm going to put this firearm up so it can dry, and I'm going to grab the other firearm and show you how to take it apart. Okay, now we're going to take apart the Mossberg 930. First thing you're going to do is use an Allen wrench to take off the front. I have a universal Allen wrench set here. That one's a little big. One a little smaller. You don't have to take these all the way out. But you have to take them out far enough where you can slide it off. There's actually an opposing one on the other side. Take it out. Alright. Once it's loosened up, needs to be a little bit more. If they have to come out, that's fine. Normally you don't have to take them all the way out to get it to slide off. And sometimes it'll hang up. It's called the YouTube curse. Anytime you try to video something, it doesn't want to work. Okay. Now we got that piece off, I like to take the spring system out. There's two ways to take it out. You can take it out from the end, or you can take it out from here. I take it out from the end, and it takes a long time to get this cap off. This is some fine threads. The reason I do it on the end is because it has a little less tension, and it'll still try to shoot it across the room. But if you do it from here, Sometimes it'll just shoot it in your hand, and it's not as bad as having the full tension. Okay, it's about ready to come off. There it comes. When it comes out, go ahead and catch your spring. Try not to bend your spring all up. We're going to set it over here to the side. Okay, from here, this is one of the pieces that I had changed out. You ready? Here it goes. Oh, it's not going to come out just yet. We're going to go ahead and take the tube off. Okay, cinch your tube. Take the port grip. All right. Next thing you do, we're going to close the bolt. You can leave the bolt open or closed, it doesn't matter. Just kind of whatever I feel like at the time. You're going to get your punch. I don't think it really matters on the way you take these out, but I always like to go the same direction. Okay. Once you take those out, go to the other side, go ahead and pull them out. Go ahead and keep your hand on the trigger system so it doesn't just fall out of the firearm. Once again, we're going to few tube curves. We're going to punch them out just a little bit farther. Okay, once the pins fall out, I keep my hand on the trigger assembly because I always try to keep this facing up. Some of these parts will come out of here, it's spring loaded. If you keep it facing up, chances of them springs flying off there go down. From there you can take the bolt, move it back, in your barrel, and everything comes right out. See that? Take the piston off. You have a washer. Okay. From here, you can pull back the bolt. I'll put my finger on it to hold the bolt open and just pull the pin out. And your bolt comes sliding down. Okay. There's the piece that I changed. Goes down in here. The other piece was more flat. This one's more rounded. In here is your piston assembly. This is one part of the shotgun that needs to be cleaned. This is a ring set. Take off the outer ring. Inside there is an inner ring. We're going to set those over to the side. Okay. From here, your shotgun is completely disassembled. You can take the tube off. This tube is actually Loctited in there, so you have to heat that up. Okay, I don't know if you can see in there, but the piece we're looking for to get out is this right here. You can see the shotgun is completely taken apart. But we have to take this assembly out. This is extremely hard to do. I don't know if you can see, and I wish I had a smaller, inside this little groove right here. See that pin? Inside this little groove right here is what I call a Carter key. You have to get something extremely tiny and move that Carter key out of the way. Doing so, it'll try to shoot out of there, so you have to hang on to it because it will. It'll try to shoot out of there. Do not lose that little carter key. If you don't have that little carter key, that pin won't stay in there. So we're going to pause the video right here, and I'm going to try to find a little tool to get in there. Okay, you can see I got the little carter key out. It's a little bitty feller. What I used is I used the small, I have a gunsmithing kit, and I used my smallest little bit, and I actually took it to my, I have a little grinder, and I actually ground that down just enough to get that to go in there. Okay, so now we need to take out that pin. There's two ways to do it. You can go in through the top side and try to push it out. I just put it on my trusty screwdriver, and if you get in there and you hook right underneath of it, just be careful not to scratch the gun up. I'm very picky about scratching my gun up. Okay, you heard it, it clicked, so now it's coming out. You want to hold that assembly because inside here it's spring loaded. Okay, so let it come on out. Okay, and there it is. See the spring on there? Right there is the piece that I dremeled off. Okay, I changed a lot of parts in this firearm, but this is the piece that was causing all the problem. I'm gonna take this little spring. The spring is only held in there by grease. So when you take it out of there, it's full of grease. Okay, so there was the culprit right there. I took my Dremel tool and I dremeled that off. So to clean it, we're gonna get a little rubbing alcohol. We're going to make sure that is cleaned off. Okay, once it's clean, we're going to let it dry. Just making sure it's clean. Okay, I'm going to use a dry paper towel, wipe it back off. As you can see, when I cleaned that or dremeled it down, it made it bare metal. So I'm going to take my Presto Gun Bluing Pen and I'm going to blue it up. This is a piece that most people never remove off their firearm. As a matter of fact, I would recommend that you don't remove it off your firearm. You lose that little carter key in there and it'll never work the same. It'll work, but your pen will fall out. So what I'm doing is I'm putting enough bluing material on here. Oops. My cameraman just jumped. So I'm gonna put enough bluing on here where I never have to worry about it again. And you can see, I don't know if you can catch it on camera, but that bluing material, it's the same color as the original piece. And because of that, no one will ever know but me that well, me and you, I guess, whoever's watching this, will ever know that this piece was even taken in or put out. Okay, I don't want to get too much, but I want to make sure it is coated good. Little bluing pen seems to be working pretty good for just minor touch-ups. Okay, we're going to turn the camera off and I'm going to let that dry for a little bit before I show you how to reinstall everything back on the Mossberg. Okay, once it's dry, it kind of leaves like a white film on there. So they say to polish it up. Now they recommend using steel wool. I'm not going to use steel wool. I'm just going to use my trusty paper towel. This part will probably never be seen by anybody but me on the inside. But you can see it was shiny and now it's blued up. Okay. So it worked.